Welcome back. And if you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by Comfort and Cooking. We're about to get into this comfort rib recipe. You don't have a grill outside? No worries. Comfort and Cooking has got you. We're about to cook these slabs of ribs in the oven. Now let's go over these ingredients. We have our parquet butter, and if you don't have parquet butter, we could just use a stick of butter and just cut it down in cubes. We also have our mustard. We have our Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. And then we have our rub. Now this is something that I made that has simple ingredients in it: smoked paprika, garlic powder, onion powder. But we'll get into that later. We also have some liquid smoke, and we're gonna mix that with some W sauce, 2-to-1, with 2 tablespoons of W sauce and 1 teaspoon of liquid smoke. We also have a killer hog rub, and we're gonna be using that on another slab. And in the middle of this, we have our brown sugar. And that's because we're gonna be wrapping one of these slabs in aluminum foil. Let's put our cape on and get in the kitchen because these ribs are not going to cook themselves. This is not a full spare rib, so we're not going to have to cut as much off. But we do got a little stragglers that we got to clean up because we want our slabs of ribs to look as good as they taste. Now we're going to be flipping this over and we're going to clean up the backside also. Now I know that this is a lot of fat, and I know in my videos I said time and time again that fat is flavor, but we want to clean this up a little bit more. Now you see this flap right here, this little flap. Now eventually I'm going to cut all of this off because these pieces I'm going to wind up cooking at another time. If you're new to the channel, I want to thank you for your support, and also watch my barbecue bean video that's going to pair nicely with these St. Louis ribs. Now this end piece, I want you to fill it out. It's probably the first, if not the second bone. The second bone I did. You just want to guide the knife down that bone and then run it down. It should come clean. Now that's a beautiful rib. Now let's deal with our membrane. This is up for discussion. Most people say that the membrane doesn't matter. Most say that it does matter. Me, as long as I've cooked ribs, I've always removed the membrane. And you'll take a butter knife and you'll place it right up under the skin. Then you'll pull a little bit, but not enough to split it. Take your thumb with a dry towel and then your fingers and just pull slowly. Now, while you're doing this, this is not a race. We're not sprinting to the finish line. Just take your time. Sometimes it comes clean, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, the last little pieces that's on, just take your time and just take those pieces off and discard them. Now, we want to take our W sauce and our liquid smoke that we've mixed 2-to-1, and we want to brush this on. Now you can brush it on or you can rub it on. Now we're going to turn this over and we're going to repeat the process on the meat side. And just make sure that it's evenly distributed. Now, we want to set our slabs to the side for about 3, if not 5 minutes before we put our rub on. Beautiful. This is exactly what we're looking for. Now, we're going to start with my rub, and we're going to evenly distribute it up and down the slab. As we apply the rub, we want to make sure that we get even coverage. Make sure that we apply it and we get the edges also. And that's what we're looking for. You want to rub this in and press it into the slab. And then we'll stand our slab up and we'll get our edges. And this is exactly what we're looking for. Beautiful. Now for the next slab, we're going to use mustard as an additional binder. Now I know those that's out there is going to say, well, I don't want mustard on my ribs. This is not for taste. This is just for a binder. Trust me, you will not taste it. But we're going to take this mustard and we're just going to rub it in lightly. Then we're going to flip our slab over. We're going to do the same. And then make sure we get it all along the sides. But if you still feel uncomfortable about it, because remember, this is comfort and cooking, and it's about doing what you feel is comfortable in your own kitchen. If you do not want to use the mustard, then don't use it. You can do both slabs of ribs the same way. Now that we have our mustard on both sides of our slab, we want to run through with our killer hog rub, and we're going to evenly distribute this up and down the slab also. This is coming along amazing. Now we want to flip our slab And then we want to repeat the process. We want to evenly distribute this rub up and down the slab. This is coming along nice. This is definitely the #1 choice in the top 3 with my family when it comes to cooking in the kitchen. Now, then we'll turn our slab up, and then we'll get the sides, and then we'll pat this in and rub this in, and then allow for our rub to sit along our ribs. Now, once you're done applying the rub to both slabs, then you just want to sit your ribs to the side, then allow for that taste of the rub to intensify. Now that we have that done, we want to get our slabs onto our baking tray. Now we're going to add our second one, but make sure that your slabs are not touching. You want to give this enough room that the heat is evenly distributed. Now we're going to get this in the oven that's already preheated at 275 degrees. Now remember, I told you everybody's oven is not the same and everybody's taste buds is not the same. So 275 has really been a sweet spot for me when it comes to baking my ribs in the oven. So I continue to do that. Now the first 2 hours is going to be at 275. And the third hour, we're going to take it up to 325. Now we're going to add a little bit of water to the bottom of the pan. Now I'm going to spritz these ribs probably like every 35 to 45 minutes for the whole cooking time. In the first hour, we're going to spritz our ribs. The color and the smell is amazing. Now the spritz that I'm using is apple juice and apple cider vinegar. Now you can use orange juice. You can use just straight apple cider vinegar. Now, if you want to take your oven up to 300 or above to cook the ribs, then you'll just have to adjust the cooking time. We're going to rotate our ribs while we're spritzing them. Color is amazing. We haven't even finished cooking the ribs yet. Let me tell you a little something about comfort in cooking. You don't have to follow this recipe 100%. I made more mistakes than perfect plates. That's the only way that you're going to learn. Trying these recipes, changing them up, and experimenting in the kitchen is the only way you're going to get better. Now that we're done, we're going to slide these back into the oven. Now, after 2 hours, this is what we have, and the color and the smell is amazing. Trust me when I tell you. We're going to lightly sauce the front slab of ribs, and then the other slab, we're going to wrap in aluminum foil. Before we go any further, take out the time to like, share, and subscribe. And make sure that you hit that notification bell so you're notified on the next delicious recipe from this channel called Comfort in Cooking. Now let's lay down a bed of brown sugar, and then we're going to take our parquet butter, and we're going to squeeze it evenly. If you don't have the parquet butter, just use a stick butter or whatever that you have in your refrigerator. Remember, this is Comfort in Cooking, and this is all about being comfortable in your own kitchen and what you have. Now that we've spread out the butter, we're going to take our slab of ribs and we're going to face it meat side down and lay it across our brown sugar and our butter. And then you want to repeat the process. Put more brown sugar, then more butter. Now, for those out there, this is a perfect opportunity to add in any type of liquid or any other additional sweet that you would like to do to your slabs of ribs before we wrap them up. You can spritz them. You can add honey. You can add soda. You can add, I've even heard maple syrup. Whatever you like to use. You don't have to follow this recipe 100%. Let me know in the comment box below what you would have did differently and how you would have made this recipe work for you. I would love to hear from you. Now, upon wrapping this, what you want to make sure that you do is to wrap your ends 2 or 3 times and fold up. Do not fold your aluminum foil under or you'll lose all of your moisture. Now that we have this slab wrapped, we're going to put it back in the oven for 45 minutes to an hour at 325 degrees. Now I've already moved the slab of rib that was not in the foil because I wanted an open presentation of the rib that's coming out of the foil for you to see. As you see, the meat is pulling back. And as I move this up just a little bit, I don't want it to break because I feel like I'm about to lose one of the ends, but we're going to sauce. We're going to lightly sauce this on the back. And then we're gonna move this out of the way, and I'm gonna change the foil out in the baking pan. Then we're gonna flip this over to the meat side, and then we're gonna sauce this again. And then add the slab back on, and we're gonna put this back in the oven for an additional 10 to 15 minutes on 350. So it can caramelize to my liking. Now my liking might not be your liking, so make sure that you just keep an eye on it. Now watch this as it's in the oven, because it's gonna be up to you how far you want this to caramelize. And I promise you, you're gonna have the perfect ribs. Now after that 10 to 15 minutes of caramelization, this is what we have. 2 beautiful oven-baked slabs of St. Louis ribs. Beautiful. Now we're gonna sit these ribs out, and we're gonna allow them to rest for about 5 minutes before we even cut into them. And while they're resting, we're gonna go ahead and take a couple of pictures for a thumbnail. Caramelization is amazing. Now look at these ribs. You see the bark along the bones, it's pulling back. This looks so good, I don't even want to cut into it, Comfort and Cookin. And the knife is cutting so easily through these ribs, you can say it's cutting like butter. I'm trying to set these ribs up so they're looking good, but I have to get a close-up on this to show you just how juicy these ribs are, how it lost none of the moisture while it was cooking, because this is a slab that wasn't in the foil. You know, on these, you can see on the ribs that the moisture is there. This is amazing. These ribs came out beautiful. I guarantee you that your family and friends are going to enjoy this rib recipe. Is it just me, or every time I cook these ribs, they get better? To everyone that liked, shared, or subscribed to the channel, I just want to say thank you for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.